This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.
This podcast is brought to you by Coral, and they're here for the fans. At the Fan Network, we have a mission to shake up the game we all love, and that's why we partnered with Coral, who've been shaking things up too. With their free-to-play reward shaker, there are guaranteed rewards and exclusive offers to be won every single day. Whether you're a part of the Badging Brigade, the Away Dayers, or the Football Fashionistas, Coral's here for the fans. Play Coral's reward shaker and win bigger guaranteed daily rewards and offers this season. For over 18s only, maximum one reward or offer per player per day. Reward restrictions and requirements and other T's and C's apply. Visit gambleaware.org for more details. This episode is proud to be sponsored by Now, where you can stream Sky Sports flexibly. Catch the biggest games this season how you want, when you want. The football season is back, and you can keep up with all the action on Sky Sports with a Now membership. Whether you're perched on the edge of your sofa or hiding behind it, you can capture more of the drama this season with Now. The heat of the moment, the 90th minute winner, that last-ditch tackle, the pride on the line, and the best bit, you can dip in for the derby or stay for the season. With a Now month membership, you can stream all Sky Sports channels flexibly. No fuss. Go to nowtv.com to find out more about sports memberships. 18 plus, UK only. Minimum speed 2.5 megabits per second. Live scheduling may be subject to change. Full terms apply.
This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.
This podcast is sponsored by AMG Logistics and in association with the Birmingham City Official Supporters Clubs. I'm your host, Craig Courtney, and we're looking forward to the next Blues game and finding out what our opposition fans think. Sit tight and enjoy the next edition of The Away End. Hi, it's week 5 of The Away End. And as we come off the back of the international break, we're looking forward to the next set of games and our upcoming visit to the Bet365 Stadium, playing, you can say local rivals really, Stoke City. So we're going into the game. Both teams are doing well in the league, it's fair to say. Stoke playing 4, winning 3 of those, sitting nicely in 3rd position in the league as it stands. Birmingham down in 10th, but with 7 points. Really, just it's early doors, so nobody really bothers about what the league looks like. So we go into the action at the weekend after a couple of additional incomings during the last day of the transfer window. So we welcomed Patrick Roberts, who's joining on loan from Sunderland, pacey winger. Definitely looking forward to seeing him play, and the Sunderland fans have done nothing but rave on about him, so that's going to be exciting. And of course, the permanent move for Jack Robinson from Sheffield United. So Birmingham have definitely strengthened well, and decent squad now from the window. After a 2-0 loss against Leicester, we're going into the game looking to bounce back, and I'm sure Chrissy Davies will have the team fired up as we go into the game on Saturday. And obviously, we want to bounce back from that disappointment. So another away game, looking forward to it. Great raucous following, as always, from the Birmingham fans, as sellouts away end up at the 365 Stadium, and they will no doubt make some row. So joined today by our friend Dan Buxton from the Every Step Along the Way podcast. Love the name, first of all, so you're going to have to give me a bit of a background. But Dan, thank you very much for joining us on the Away End. First of all, tell us a bit about the podcast and yourselves.
Yeah, so it's myself and Mike Stockley. We do it. We've been doing it. This is our 5th season. I think we're podcast only, so we're not on YouTube or any video. It's just audio podcasts. And yeah, I think we've just done, I think this will be 374. I think podcast 374. So yeah, we do an oppositions view podcast, which we started this season as a sort of a standalone one. We do a preview and then we do a review. So of each game. So yeah, it keeps us busy, especially when you get the midweek games and there's like one out every day. But yeah, we've had loads of like players. We had Ashley Phillips on the podcast this summer, who didn't tell us he was re-signing for us 2 weeks later. So that was a nice surprise when that happened. Yeah, we've had Tyrese Campbell on, Ben Wilmot, Wouter Berger. So we've had some decent players and then some ex-pros and stuff as well. The name itself, every step along the way. So the only thing we've ever won in our 160 odd year history was the League Cup in 1972. The squad brought a song out for that, went into the charts as they used to do back then,
Yeah.
which we'll be with you. So it's we'll be with you every step along the way. And that's where we got that from. And if you hear when the players come out at the start of the match, that song is played over the tannoy. So we get some free advertising every game as well.
That's a win-win-win, and especially because you are obviously getting interaction with your club and getting your players to join you on the podcast. So one for us to definitely take forwards, because at the moment we don't get that. But
yeah, we got the initial one going direct to Tyrese, and then I think that was that they suddenly realised that we weren't just going to be messing around, and they trusted us a bit more then to let us have other players.
Excellent. That's the way. I think that's the way every club should work, and hopefully we can change a few things around there. So, Birmingham Stoke. I mean, obviously going back over the years, many years that I've been watching Birmingham, I'd honestly say that there's been some great games and there's been some damp and drivel games. You know, we really enjoyed them. We go from the one extreme of a 7-0 drubbing up at your place through to, you know, beating Birmingham on continuous occasions as we've gone through it, and really having I think a bit of a run of results against us, which slowly the tide is beginning to turn. When we look at the record, though, over the years, Stoke and Birmingham playing each other, and Birmingham have won 40 of those. We have drawn 26 games between us. You're just ahead at the moment with 45 wins. So, as always, they come very close, especially when it's our two clubs. And as over the histories as well, we've not only exchanged players, but managers. Birmingham fans, some of them frown upon the name Lou Macari, but he took us to Wembley. He won a trophy, and then he went to you guys. And I'll never, ever forget that first game at St Andrews when he was in charge, because that was my first ever game when I travelled on my own. And what happened? It was a riot. So what can we say? It comes with both clubs. I have also had, I will say, the pleasure of travelling to both your old and new ground up in Stoke. So experiences and different things each time. I've also been up there when, as fans throw turf at each other. I mean, some of these things that happen is ridiculous. But in our last 5, 2 wins and 1 loss for Birmingham, 2 draws. So again, still close. The last time we played each other, in fact, was January 2024 in the league, up at a 3-6-5. Birmingham got a 2-1 result. You know, it wasn't very often that we actually won away from home in that season. So it was one of those one-offs. But mentioned at the beginning, you've started on a bit of a flyer after just surviving, I think it's fair to say, last season. Mark Robbins appears to now be putting a little bit of authority onto the team, building it with the squad that he wants. Tell us a little bit about what we can expect from Stoke. You know, how does Robbins tend to set the team up? What can we expect up at a 3-6-5? And where are your strengths and weaknesses?
Right, so I would say if you're looking at strength-wise, there's pace up front. He's managed to get a solid defence now. I do think, and I don't think it's hyperbole to say that Victor Johansson is the best shot stopper in the league, and we called upon him far too often last season. If it wasn't for him, I think every Stoke fan is united in saying if it wasn't for him, we would have been relegated last season quite comfortably. Some of the saves and some of the ways he kept us in games was amazing. And this season, we now seem to have a much more solid, like I say, line in front of him. The midfield is a lot more combative as well, and getting stuck in and being able to protect that defence. and we've now got outlets. So for the last few years, we've been playing with inverted wingers. So
Mm-hmm.
left foot on the right foot on the left, and nobody ever goes past anyone. Nobody ever goes around the outside. For a striker, it's a nightmare because they never get the service foot and get the balls played in when they want them. And we've signed Sorba Thomas this summer, and it's just been a complete transformation in how we can attack. Because now we just play him on the left, and he will literally knock the ball past the fullback and run past them. He'll get to the byline, try and put crosses in. And so Mubama has come from Manchester City. We were already saying he looks like the most complete 19-year-old striker I think I've seen in a long time. Don't get me wrong, he's not. I'm not saying he's like fantastic or should be playing for Manchester City where he's unknown from, but he's got a bit of everything about his game. Like, he's strong, he can hold it up, he makes the right runs, he's got good movement, he finishes well. So he's got a bit of everything. Obviously, he needs to sort of round the edges off, and stuff. So that's why he's with us. But yeah, it's really promising. Like I say, so we've got him up front giving us the focal points. We've got Manos trickery on the right and pace and ability to get shots off on that left foot when he cuts inside. And we've got Sorba Thomas, who is a good traditional Stoke winger, ones who we like to see down at the Bet365. Like I say, we can sort of take people on and get crosses in. So yeah, we sort of get the solid defensively and then just get the ball forward quickly. Not technically long ball, but progressive passes. We're looking to pass forward when we get the ball.
So similar by the sounds of it to how Robbins had Coventry playing before he lost his job there, really, in terms of the structure that he followed and the type of football that he wanted to play. So, I mean, you've had, first of all, some great results since the start of the season. What do you think has been the turnaround between the end of last season and the way things were and where you are now? Do you put it solely down to he's had a summer where he can bring in the players that he wants, and he's had a pre-season where he can build that team through looking at his style and like I say, stamping his authority? Or do you just think it's, I mean, is it a lucky start? How do you feel as a Stoke fan at the moment?
I think it's like I say, the signings that they've made have made a difference. But it's funny because we've signed, I think it's 11 players, which we were told we were going to have a quiet summer. So 11 signings isn't quite that. But more than half of them haven't actually started a game yet. So he's given last season's remainder squad a bit of an opportunity, a lot of them, to sort of step up or step out, if you like. And I think we've got a lot of balance down. Aaron Cresswell's coming at left back. Mm-hmm. He's been a massive help. Him and Thomas, like I say, have transformed that left wing. But yeah, I think the fact he's had a pre-season, the fact he's been able to bring in a few of his own players, and just, I think, like I say, the resets of, like, when he came in, we'd been under such a bad run under Narcis Palak that it wasn't going to be an overnight job to just turn that around, because it had been 4 months of dour football, dour results. I think the fans had had enough, and I think he had to win them back and had to get them on board. And I think now it's the first time that Stoke fans can be positive in a long time, or the first time they feel positive. Mm-hmm. And I think when I speak to Stoke fans as well, it's not a case of like, we're going to win the league or we're going to get promotion. It's, we're not fighting relegation this year. Or we've got enough points now. We shouldn't ever be down there now. And even if, and I think everyone's happy, well, the majority of Stoke fans you speak to are happy if we finish top 10, top 12, because we've been relegated from the Premier League 7 seasons. And every season we finish between 14th and 18th. So it's like nothing every year. It's
time to nothing. Get push on then type of scenario from the sounds of it. And I think, coming in from a Birmingham, we know exactly how you feel. We were unlucky. We were the team relegated. But for those seasons prior, we were doing what Stoke did at the end, which was we're just going to survive. We're just going to get it over the line and make sure that we stay in that league. So you mentioned there about the strengths in the team, the attacking prowess, and like you say, having wingers on their natural side that now are not afraid to take players on whipping balls, giving and creating opportunities. A defence, by the sound of it, that's stabilising. And again, sounds again like you've got the natural left and right footers in their positions. Where are your weaknesses then, would you say, within the squad? So if there was an area that a Birmingham team would look to target, where would it be?
It's a tough one because, like I say, we've scored a few goals this season and we haven't conceded many. And the only defeat we had was to West Brom, and that was 1-0. And that was like I say, a really out of character Victor Johansson error. He tried to claim a corner.
Season opener, you never take anything for granted, do you?
No. So it's like he's come and try and claim this corner above Boss on the Wild's head, who is the biggest unit on the pitch. And I think if he'd had that decision 100 times over, he probably would have stayed on his line the other 99 and just let the Wild head it away. He's done that, it dropped to the one West Brom player within a 15-yard radius who toe-poked it into a goalkeeper-less net. What we do struggle, though, in that game was West Brom defended really solid, and you could tell that they were happy to let us have the ball. We put, I think it was 46 crosses into the box, and they just keep heading them away. We had a lot of possession, a lot of territory, and they were just really organised and just managed to keep us out. Now, I know it's probably the Corberan legacy, if you like, from his time there, that they are that well-structured and well-drilled. But yeah, that's a potential weakness for us, is if you get in front, we maybe not, maybe we still are struggling. And I think if we get our noses in front, score the first goal, then obviously that's when the pace comes in. That's when we've really been able to, sort of take apart teams that we did Sheffield Wednesday and sort of Derby. We scored, although it was late on. As soon as we scored that second one, Derby had one attack when he came at us first time in the game, and we just again picked them apart and got that third goal really quickly. So yeah, I'd say that's the weakness, is trying to break down opposition who can sit in and be really well drilled and compact. Especially if we are a goal down and you sort of drop in behind and don't give us the space to run in behind. The area of the pitch, though, I think, other than number 10 hasn't really, I'd say we have Bejo now at number 10, he hasn't really got off to the season yet. Jamie Donnelly's his competition on loan from Tottenham, who had a good season at Leyton Orient. He's played the cup games and hasn't really shown us anything either. So that area of the pitch is pretty much like where no one's firing there yet. But other than that, we've been really solid, like I say, in the other areas of the pitch. But yeah, if we had a weakness, it is sort of breaking teams down, I'd say, on what we've seen so far.
So from what you've seen of Birmingham so far this season, obviously you would have seen them in the years of the downturn and the horrible types of football and scrapping types of football that we had to go through. But from what you've seen of Birmingham across last season and into this season, are there areas that you fear? Are there areas that you'd be concerned about? Because it's interesting you say there you struggle sometimes to break teams down, because I just think the structure of our team and the way Chris Davies sets us up at the moment is a work ethic that is, you don't give 100%, you're giving 120, and they're fighting for each other. We've got a midfield that's solid, that is hard to break down. And we've got, strikers that, who knows whether, first of all, Stansfield will play the weekend. We don't get to find out. But if not, we've got strikers that can come up with the goods when they need to. And I think we've got Kyogo, who at the moment can't get the rub of the green. He's had opportunities to go through one-on-ones and he's just nicked it wide, or the keeper's made a great save in that opening game of the season. He had a perfectly good goal ruled out that should have stood. Then the second and our first goal, which Stansfield put away, was actually his shot that come back off the post. So he's not getting the rub of the green, but he's going to come good. But from what else you've seen, do you worry about anything that you see with Birmingham coming up there?
Yeah, obviously, Jay Stansfield has always been a thorn in our side before. He scored a great goal for you guys a couple of years ago against us in that 2-1 win that you mentioned earlier on. And yeah, I think he is a player, very exciting player, somebody who we've sort of, I think after that game, I was like, oh, yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing him in a red white shirt. So yeah, I think he's definitely one we've got to keep an eye on and try and keep quiet if he does play. It's funny you say about Kyogo as well, missing and obviously having a good goal ruled out because Michael Salisbury's refereeing into it the weekend, who was yes, at the Fulham Chelsea game. So he has fun ruling perfectly good goals out, etc. Yeah, I think you midfield as well. I think is it Pauk? Is it pronounced Pauk?
Pike. Yeah.
Pike. Yes, sorry. Yes, your midfield. He seems to be sort of the engine room, isn't he? Everything sort of runs through him and just keeps everything ticking over. Gets the ball through the thirds. So we've got to be tight on him. I think if you close him down and stop him playing, that sort of stops the ball getting forward, doesn't it? To people like Stansfield, Kyogo, Damari Gray, people like that who can really cause you damage.
And I think it's going to be interesting as well with Demi Gray. I'm hoping that he is fit after the shoulder injury that he took at Leicester, because he was really beginning to show what he could do. You know, he was coming in off the back of a lax amount of football, I think. You know, so he's building his fitness back up and really coming back into it. But a Brummy lad playing for his home team, the team that he supports, you know, I think it's one when he gets his first goal, we're going to see a few more coming, but also we're going to begin to see the best of him. So, thank you for that in terms of your thoughts on the game, and we'll come on to some predictions shortly. But I want to test your knowledge a little bit. So, I've already mentioned that we've had managers that have crossed paths between ourselves, but also we've had a lot of players. Over the years, plenty of players have transferred between the two clubs, whether that's from Stoke to Birmingham or Birmingham to Stoke. And actually one player who joined us, then joined Stoke, and then I believe joined us again. So there's a challenge. And the challenge is I want you to come up with just 5 players that have played for both clubs but have actually signed from each other's clubs as well. So we can already talk about, if we were doing loans, that Kumas, he's at Birmingham now. He looks a player, you know, from what I've seen, and I can't wait to see a little bit more of him. Only a couple of games so far, so it'll be interesting to see how things progress. So we're not going to take any loans into the equation, but the signings between the two clubs or loan signings between the two clubs over the years. Can you name 5? Because there are, I will say, some great names and a few that are definitely friends of the Tilton Talk Show.
Right. Okay, so I think 2 going right back. I know there's one, Paul Pesky-Solido.
Indeed. And Pesky was the player that went to and from. So actually that was interesting.
Followed Lou, didn't he, from you to us, and then sparked outrage here when he got deadline date being sold back to you when we were trying to go up. Richard Forsyth, the 90s player. Now I was going to say Jermaine Pennant, but was he only on loan to you? He didn't come.
He did sign permanently for Birmingham.
Yes.
So he was there during that Premiership season. In fact, I still think, unless there have been one since, the first player to ever wear a tag whilst playing the game.
Yeah. Oh, we had one of them as well, Vincent Perricard. Yeah. So must be spreading. It's an epidemic. Right. So players who have played for both clubs and so they got to have transferred from Birmingham to Stoke or Stoke to Birmingham.
This episode is proud to be sponsored by Now, where you can stream Sky Sports flexibly. Catch the biggest games this season how you want, when you want. The football season is back, and you can keep up with all the action on Sky Sports with a Now membership. Whether you're perched on the edge of your sofa or hiding behind it, you can capture more of the drama this season with Now. The heat of the moment, the 90th minute winner, that last-ditch tackle, the pride on the line, and the best bit, you can dip in for the derby or stay for the season. With a Now month membership, you can stream all Sky Sports channels flexibly. No fuss. Go to nowtv.com to find out more about sports memberships. 18 plus, UK only. Minimum speed 2.5 megabits per second. Live scheduling may be subject to change. Full terms apply. This podcast is brought to you by Coral, and they're here for the fans. At the Fan Network, we have a mission to shake up the game we all love, and that's why we partnered with Coral, who've been shaking things up too. With their free-to-play reward shaker, there are guaranteed rewards and exclusive offers to be won every single day. Whether you're a part of the Badging Brigade, the Away Dayers, or the football fashionistas, Coral's here for the fans. Play Coral's reward shaker and win bigger guaranteed daily rewards and offers this season. For over 18s only, maximum one reward or offer per player per day. Reward restrictions and requirements and other T's and C's apply. Visit gambleaware.org for more details.
I am struggling because I've got them two. So, got two.
I'll give you some hints on some of the players, recent ones. So you've had a defensive midfielder who transferred to Birmingham.
Ryan Woods.
Correct.
Yes, of course. I tried to block him out of my mind. I do apologise.
Funnily enough, there's a lot of people that say that at Birmingham as well. You've also had a left midfielder who signed from Stoke to Birmingham as well. American, far from set the world alight.
Brett Shea.
Yeah. One of those severely frustrating players from my front that you could see had ability, but never
just had no idea how to use it.
No idea. We've mentioned goalkeepers, you know what I mean? So there's actually two goalkeepers.
Jack Butland.
Indeed. And Jack obviously signed from Birmingham for Stoke that season, 3.8 million, I think he signed for. And then he was loaned back to Birmingham. So we had him back. But we have had a goalkeeper, Birmingham to Stoke, 23-24 season. Probably only a young.
Oh, well, we've had that many goalkeepers in recent time. We've just trying to think who the young keeper. And
the other thing is, you've only got one more to name, and I've just chucked a goalkeeper in there. So if you can think of any others, it's not a problem.
Are there any other goalkeepers on that list? Because I've got one in mind, but I'm not sure if he came from Birmingham. Going back a few years.
We have a goalkeeper, yes, but I've got it as the 1910-1911 season. So
no, not that side. I can't name him. Oh, it's interesting. Yeah,
you've had plenty of you like defenders, especially the right hand side. You like the centre forwards from Birmingham. Is the other thing? You've mentioned one of the midfielders already, in Richard Forsyth, anyhow. But you do like our strikers over the years. A left back, who is now a Premiership manager.
Oh, left back is now a Premiership manager. Graham Potter.
Indeed.
Yes.
Yes,
I know he went Southampton from here.
It's interesting when you name some of the players, because I'll go through the rest of the list now of some of the names, because they are great, and I will say some of my firm favourites as a youngster are well and truly in this list. So the goalkeeper I mentioned from 23 to 24, lad called Alfie Brooks, signed for years, free transfer from Birmingham. You mentioned Ryan Woods. You've also had a left back, Bobby Mosley, again, one of our youngsters that moved across
Yeah.
We've mentioned Breck Shea, Jack Butland. Jack Butland at the time, I always remember as well, coming to you as what was touted the next England goalkeeper. Made a complete cock-up in one of his games and didn't get a look in afterwards. So, shame really, but doing well up in Scotland now. Sam Wesley, right back from Birmingham to Stoke as a free transfer in 2012, 2013. Then we go into the first of the strikers, Cameron Jerome. Very much legend of Birmingham, but also a friend of Tilton Talk. He's actually been on with us as a guest. Really, really, really nice chap. And he signed for $4.5 million. So it's actually one of the bigger transfers. I think the biggest actually across to yourselves. Stephen Kelly, right back, was a loan transfer from Birmingham to yourself. Another loan transfer and striker. And true gentleman, again, friend of Tilton Talk, Tommy Mooney. What an absolute legend he was at the club. Mentioned Richard Forsyth and Paul Pascalino already. Jason Beckford came to yourselves from Birmingham. Keith Downing came to yourself from Birmingham back in 94, 95. Then we really go back over the years. Dave Regis, 94, 95. Attacker, came from Stoke to Birmingham. But it's at that point that you then start looking at some of the great players that I remember from the early days. Kenny Lowe was one. He could turn it on when he wanted to, but not all the time. But Ian Clarkson, captain, legend for both clubs, did fantastically well in both areas. And still involved with Birmingham as a host of the ex-players on game days. Nigel Gleghorn was, fair to say, I think my favourite player when I first started watching Birmingham. I loved the way that he was on the ball, and he not only was he just that centre forward that was going forwards and scoring the goals, but he could easily set them up and be involved as well. Vince Overson. Wow, what a defender. Yeah. You know what I mean? He'd head absolutely anything that was put in front of him. He was the brick. And then we go back a little bit longer because we've also got Howard Kendall, came to yourselves from Birmingham. Jimmy Greenoff, centre forward. At the time, signing for just $115,000. But when you think about that back in 1969, 1970, that was a lot of money. Arthur Turner was 1938 to 1939 season and signed for £7,000. Again, at that time, a lot of money. And then I mentioned the goalkeeper, 1910 to 1911. Furthest I could go back in regards to players transferring, came from Stoke to Birmingham, was a goalkeeper. His name was Horace Bailey. So if there's anybody that is watching this that was around to see him, it's just not going to happen, but the families may talk about it. So, yeah, a lot of people have transferred between the clubs, which has been great. And obviously, from a managerial perspective, we've mentioned Lou Macari, who gave good days at Birmingham, defected across to yourselves, even had a song about him that was very quickly removed from everybody's, tapes as it was at the time. But did win us a trophy at Wembley, so we'll never take that away from it. So we come to the game of the weekend, and just in the last couple of minutes now, what does your head say the score will be, and what does your heart say it will be?
Before I do, is it all right if I just touch on Lou Macari before we do that?
Of course.
Yeah. He is an absolute saint to this city of Stoke-on-Trent. Obviously, he did come to us from himself, then he left us, went to Celtic, then came back again, and he just settled in the area. And he still lives here now, and he runs a homeless shelter.
I was going to say, he does all the housing for the homeless, and I know he was due to come to Birmingham to actually do a Q&A session. Unfortunately, it was cancelled pretty late on. But he does do some absolute sterling work, and I've seen as well that he got some applaud it, I think, from the Manchester United side of it, and they were helping him advertise and promote all of that fantastic work that he does do. Yeah. And he is a legend in the footballing game, full stop. But to do what he does now is absolutely phenomenal. And I applaud him. And for anybody that's out there, if you do look up, obviously he's a charitable work that he does do, and people I know can donate towards that as well. So please, if you've got any spare cash at times of need, I know it's hard, but if you do have any and you want to put in, there's no better charity for me than that and helping people out.
Yeah, so he's had to upsize like 4 times in warehouses and stuff. And I think they've got like a warehouse space, and then inside they'll have like pods built.
Yeah.
So each person's got their own address within there. So obviously, if you've got an address, once you've got an address, you can get a job. You can get yourself back on your feet. I think obviously there's a lot of alcohol and drug addiction within the homeless community, so he helps along with that and helping recovery and rehabilitation. So yeah, he's, like I say, for the stuff that he's done in Stoke-on-Trent's, like I say, amazing, and continues to do.
And he is, like I say, a true gent. And hopefully, we can arrange something where, I've got to say, I'd love nothing more than to speak to him about his time at Birmingham, and love to get him as a guest on the Tilton Talk Show to go through some things, but also to come back and talk to the fans. And no doubt, we may even see a guest appearance from him on Saturday, because if you've got the ex-players and managers that turn up, who knows whether he might be the person that's on the pitch talking. Could also be Clarkey, of course, but we'll wait and see.
Yeah.
So, what does your head say and your heart say the result will be?
This episode is proud to be sponsored by Now, where you can stream Sky Sports flexibly. Catch the biggest games this season how you want, when you want. The football season is back, and you can keep up with all the action on Sky Sports with a Now membership. Whether you're perched on the edge of your sofa or hiding behind it, you can capture more of the drama this season with Now. The heat of the moment, the 90th minute winner, that last-ditch tackle, the pride on the line, and the best bit, you can dip in for the derby or stay for the season. With a Now month membership, you can stream all Sky Sports channels flexibly. No fuss. Go to nowtv.com to find out more about sports memberships. 18 plus, UK only. Minimum speed 2.5 megabits per second. Live scheduling may be subject to change. Full terms apply.
I think that first goal is going to be crucial, as I already said. I think I'm going to be sick of saying that by the end of the season. I think we'll come out the blocks firing. I think the crowd will be up for it.
Yeah.
You guys will be up for it, so there'll be a good atmosphere. We've got a couple of people that are maybe, like Stephen Nzonzi, who we signed in the summer. He's potentially going to make the bench because his fitness was needed getting up to scratch, so he's not been involved at all so far. We've got a new signing, Thomas Rigo, who people have been looking forward to seeing. So I think if we see either or both of those names in this, either on the pitch or on the bench, it'll just notch the atmosphere up a little bit more. I think we'll get a good start, get the first goal, and 2-1 winners, I think, to Stoke.
Sounds interesting.
However, if you score first, it's off.
My prediction was actually a 2-1 as well. I just think we're going to have. It always is a good game between the two clubs, and it is always great for the atmosphere. You can't beat Keep Right On at full belt or Delilah at full belt. They're the ones that resonate with everybody. But I think going with a 2-1 win to Birmingham, I think we're going to bounce back. And I just think the difference and the key for me will be that midfield. I just think if you can shut the midfield up, as Leicester did ultimately, then it will stop things. But if we can spray those balls out to the wings, and I think we are hopefully going to see Dimmy Gray playing, and getting people out on the other wings just to whip those balls in, hopefully we'll see the goals coming. Dutch may be due, and he is due a goal. He's due a start as well. So in terms of that, we may see him coming forward. Kyogo is due one. It's got to drop at some point. Hopefully it drops on Saturday. But all in all, I'm looking forward to a great game. It's going to be, like I say, great atmosphere. It always is when the two clubs meet. as long as the fans behave, and that's the one thing I will always say, as long as the fans behave, it's a great game. But Dan, thank you very much indeed for joining me to go through the game against Stoke at the weekend. This has been the Away End, which is sponsored by AMG Logistics and in association with the Birmingham City Official Supporters Club. If you're not a member, look out for details and have a look about how you can join your local club. And here's to a great game at the weekend. Thank you very much again for joining us. I'll sign off by saying, keep well.
This episode is proud to be sponsored by Now, where you can stream Sky Sports flexibly. Catch the biggest games this season how you want, when you want. The football season is back, and you can keep up with all the action on Sky Sports with a Now membership. Whether you're perched on the edge of your sofa or hiding behind it, you can capture more of the drama this season with Now. The heat of the moment, the 90th minute winner, that last-ditch tackle, the pride on the line, and the best bit, you can dip in for the derby or stay for the season. With a Now month membership, you can stream all Sky Sports channels flexibly. No fuss. Go to nowtv.com to find out more about sports memberships. 18 plus, UK only. Minimum speed 2.5 megabits per second. Live scheduling may be subject to change. Full terms apply. This podcast is brought to you by Coral, and they're here for the fans. At the Fan Network, we have a mission to shake up the game we all love, and that's why we partnered with Coral, who've been shaking things up too. With their free-to-play reward shaker, there are guaranteed rewards and exclusive offers to be won every single day. Whether you're a part of the Badging Brigade, the Away Dayers, or the football fashionistas, Coral's here for the fans. Play Coral's reward shaker and win bigger guaranteed daily rewards and offers this season. For over 18s only, maximum one reward or offer per player per day. Reward restrictions and requirements and other T's and C's apply. Visit gambleaware.org for more details.
This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.